Behold the new Rolls-Royce Ghost, the company's newly revisioned and re-engineered ultra-luxury, ultra-premium, ultra-everything sedan. As always, its opulence is unmatched. The ride is sumptuous and magically unperturbed by bumps and divots in the road, and its interior is absolutely the most evolved in the world from a visual, tactile, and purely comfort perspective. It's really a special place with just the right amount of sheen, hints of glitter, and eye-catching moments of beauty and surprise pretty much in every corner. The fascia is the finest example of this. It's a new illuminated high-gloss nameplate featuring 850 stars meticulously embedded inside multiple layers of laser-etched composite materials. Though part of the company's so-called post-opulent design aesthetic, which is meant to be a more minimalist and less ostentatious vibe, it's nevertheless about as ostentatious as it can possibly be, but still a fine complement to the famed Starlight headliner that sits above your head, which is something I frequently refer to as my favorite option in all of the known automotive universe. It also complements the newly illuminated front grille, which helps announce your arrival a little bit more effectively, though again, I wouldn't exactly call it post-opulent. Anyway, with the massive leather thrones front and rear, the daringly vibrant colors that are available to prospective owners, and the 1300-watt, 18-speaker bespoke audio system, the interior of the new Ghost is a place you actually want to be, not just something that hopes to make the best of a bad commute. Now, Rolls-Royce calls the Ghost the most technologically advanced Rolls-Royce yet. That's certainly true. It's the first of the carmaker sedans to have, for instance, all-wheel drive, and it has a rear steering mechanism to help tighten the lengthy beast's turning radius and make it float effortlessly between lanes at highway speeds. For those transitional moments, the company now offers doors that open and close themselves mechanically, quietly and perfectly with the press of a button to avoid moments of awkwardness during entry and egress. The familiar 6.75-liter V12 generates 563 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque, and it's barely detectable thanks to carefully engineered vibration suppression techniques and over 200 pounds of sound deadening materials injected into strategic locations to negate both road and engine noise. So they've really taken the engineering innovation to the next level with this car. And there are other innovations in this $332,000 car, though the one I'm testing here in these videos, the gray one, came in at $429,000. The other innovations include ultra-bright LED headlights with Flagbearer system, as it's called, that reads the road ahead via cameras to prep the suspension for changes in the road surface, and a satellite-aided transmission that pre-selects gears for optimum acceleration through corners. It's very much a driver's car, unlike the Rolls-Royce Phantom, which is more of a chauffeur car. This one is intended to be driven and to be enjoyed as a driving experience. There's also the Planar Suspension System, which includes a second damper in the front suspension, which you can see here, that's intended to smooth out even the most minuscule road imperfections, saying things like joints and seams on the highway. That sounds like a great deal of effort to eliminate such small details, but on many such surfaces, those can stack up in your psyche and leave your nerves a little bit frayed. And besides, if everything else is being smoothed out in the car, eventually they are going to have to address what's left, and this is how they did it. That's all fantastic, highly innovative stuff, and it absolutely does place the car as the most technologically advanced in the company's history. But it's not, by ordinary standards, the most technologically advanced car on the road. Its infotainment system is a bit of a dated dinosaur that's based on parent company BMW's system for its flagship 7 Series sedan. It somewhat grudgingly offers Apple CarPlay, but not yet Android Auto. That might show up soon. Nor does it have a fancy user interface with lots of apps and streaming this and that and data and adjustable tiles and all that stuff. It's the bare minimum to satisfy most expectations and really not much more. Meanwhile, Mercedes offers its new MBUX systems in all of its cars, including the new S-Class, that offers augmented reality navigation aids, natural voice commands, connected data streams. And from Japan, Lexus offers an absolutely expansive head-up display system on a lot of its cars. Then back to the Ghost, there's the ADAS, or Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. The new Ghost has key safety things like pedestrian and wildlife detection, external camera views, brake assist. It does include radar-based adaptive cruise control, which is important, with collision warning, cross-traffic alerts, etc. but not, notably, the ability to manage stop and go low speed traffic, such as through cities and in traffic jams. It has lane departure warning, but not the increasingly valued automatic lane centering. Now, this leads me to my only real complaint about the new Ghost. While it's extraordinarily innovative as a piece of vehicular engineering, its technology innovation remains curiously behind the times. Mind you, it has tech, but all the ADAS systems that I just mentioned are basically available everywhere else, and in this case, pulled straight from the parts bin at BMW. I'm talking about tech innovation. You would think that the global pinnacle of automotive engineering would also be at the forefront of this technology, including specifically the latest semi-autonomous drive capability. After all, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Cadillac, and of course Tesla, all now offer the ability of their cars to essentially take over highway driving under certain conditions, including managing lane changes, monitoring signage and vehicles around them, and even pumping in streetlight data from infrastructure connections in order to optimize through town driving. By comparison, the Ghost feels weirdly analog even when it's perfectly confident and current. It's just not ahead of anyone in these respects. Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Tesla, they're all premium luxury vehicles, all go into six figures, and they are way ahead of the Ghost in these categories. Now that, it turns out, is absolutely deliberate. See, for starters, Rolls-Royce prides itself on its customer connection. These folks shell out $250,000 up to $500,000 for their vehicles, and they're often customized in myriad ways. As a result, the company pays a lot of attention to them, and it values their input. Overwhelmingly, I'm told, they say that they don't want a lot of extraneous gadgets and electronic capabilities baked into their cars. They want quality, design, and engineering, and that magical extra something in terms of the experience of being in the vehicle and the experience of their interactions with it. Futzing with superfluous techie googles dilutes that experience, and it actually risks worsening it. My own reaction to that is that old product development adage, which I believe this version of it comes from Sony, that the customer doesn't know what he or she wants. I personally believe that systems like fully evolved driver assistance and stop-and-go traffic management and semi-autonomous driving would be valued by Rolls-Royce customers just as they would be by any other customer. Those folks, the new Rolls-Royce customers, are increasingly skewing younger and thus more tech-savvy. Who wouldn't want a sublime ride to be further enhanced by effortless, stress-free driver assistance on the road? If their owners are wealthy multi-car types, and they are, does Rolls-Royce really want them to be opting for the Tesla to commute into the office in the morning instead of the Ghost? But this is where we also bump up against Rolls-Royce's own standards for what's ready for inclusion and what actually isn't. And they very much keep their own counsel on this matter. When I posed the question to lead Ghost engineer John Sims, he told me that the company does indeed deliberately ignore certain features that are being aggressively pushed and touted at other big-name luxury car makers. He says, and this is a quote, "If it's something that is still at the stage where you tried to use a feature 3 times and in the end you've gotten so fed up with it that you decide you won't bother again, then that's something that should never be in a Rolls-Royce. If you've just gone out and spent £250,000 on a new car, and you get one of your friends or colleagues in to show them nice new features and it doesn't work, at that moment in time, not only have you lost confidence in the car, but you've also lost face. So for us, if we're integrating a feature, it has to be absolutely effortless integration that will give our audience the confidence to use it and the confidence to show it off if they want to, and the confidence to just know that without an instruction manual, they can get that feature to work every time." Now, Sims goes on to say that as engineers have all kinds of ideas that they pitch, but the guiding principles remain the same. What does the customer want? And is that technology truly ready for that customer? So just because a feature is available, it doesn't mean it's going to make it into a Rolls-Royce. It has to be ready both practically and conceptually. The truth is, Rolls-Royce doesn't define progress the way other car makers do. Everything has to reach a certain haute level of readiness and desirability. That's to their credit. It may not impress 12-year-olds the way augmented reality navigation does or automatically changing lanes on the highway does, but the technology and the engineering that is baked into their cars is impressive by nature of its very discreet integration and its seamless, almost undetectable operation. To me, that's actually, and a little bit surprisingly, perfectly consistent with my own theories about technology readiness. I've always said that my gold standard for this stuff is whether I can put any tech normie into the car, daughter, son, father-in-law, mom, without having to give them a 15-minute lecture and have them use it and enjoy it. Most cars don't meet that standard, but the Ghost does. I'll gladly turn over the keys to anyone, assuming, of course, I could afford it in the first place. Anyway, that's it for me and the Ghost. Hope you enjoyed this video and got a sense of whether or not Rolls-Royce may indeed actually be one of the best arbiters of new technology in the market. Thanks for watching and have a great day.